Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this live stream. We're going to see if this works or not. I'm going to do this via Zoom today, streaming straight to YouTube. Oh my goodness, how are we all? Can you hear me okay? I'm hoping so. I'm sure you can. Well, we are in the midst of a heat wave here in the UK. All that beautiful, glorious sunshine. And it's funny because we don't tend to get red weather warnings in the UK, especially for heat. And I just find it so poignant, so perfect, so apt, so telling. I look towards the sun as I do this. I look over there, and I see visibly now with my eyes, and this is really powerful because I remember when I didn't used to see like this, and I'm sure you're all the same. You're all having similar experiences where when we look with our physical eyes, we actually see the rainbow light, the golden light. We actually see the beams and the hues and the orbs that the cameras can pick up. We're actually starting to see those. It's interesting because there's been such prejudice around the sun, right? We don't often hear that being said, do we? We often hear it about the moon, right? It's a little bit kind of more commonplace to recognize that there are some who have very strong opinions about the moon. But it's interesting about the sun, we don't kind of tend to see it in the same way. However, it's much more on a physical level. And this is so poignant for what the sun actually offers us, because it's our nourishment in a solar system. Solar sun. In a solar system, we are solar beings. This earth is a solar star, right? This earth is a solar star which requires the light from the sun to live, and of the moon. But on a physical level with the sun, because that's where, we can really absorb that light, right? We can really work with that light and convert it into whatever it needs to be. It's really powerful, and it's fascinating because over the past few decades, there's been kind of, this kind of don't stay out in the sun for too long, make sure you put sunblock on, kind of all that type of stuff. The sun gives you cancer. And really, if there wasn't a mass marketing approach that told us that, would that be the case? Would we believe that? Everything in, everything in a balanced amount, of course. We don't want to be out in the sun all day. We will, we'll bake, right? But that direct contact with the sun on our skin is so nourishing. It actually does the opposite of creating cancer. It actually eliminates it, right? So much science to back that up. It's fascinating because it accelerates growth. So how really could the sun ever cause cancer? Because it's not accelerating, because it doesn't plant something in that sense. It accelerates the growth of something. So that must mean that any malady was already there, right? Fed and created by something else, by a different focus of energy that was nourished by the sun. Just from ponderings, actually, that's not what I was going to talk about today. But I just felt that kind of come through, and the sun wanted to offer that. This time of year, we're still in the middle of the Sirius alignment. We had the 7-7 portal where we had that very powerful alignment with Sirius. We had we've got Lionsgate coming up, which is another very powerful alignment with Sirius. The pyramids are all kind of aligned with those stars. And it's a very abundant time, in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, this would be one of the most abundant times of year. This is when, the Nile would flood, right? And would grow and cultivate, so much crop, right? So much bounty. It's an incredibly abundant time. We have all this sacred feminine energy coming in from the end of Cancer season, right? That divine feminine, that mother energy, that nurturing, that care, that compassion. And then we hand it over to, and Cancer ruled by, governed by the moon, right? Then we hand it over to Leo, governed by the sun, right? The lion, very powerful energy, and I say it's really interesting because just after we turn into Leo season, we've got on the 22nd, and you'll hear many, many people talk about this, we have Mary Magdalene Day. Now, there's a space and a time, there's an actual energetical portal there, as there always is with anything where there is a collective focus, that always creates a portal. That's how portals work. It's a collective focus of energy. But for the 22nd, all the twos, that feminine number of the 7th, and for it to be on a Venus day, on a Friday, it's got the extra added energy. And it's I'm hearing a lot this week, I'm hearing a lot of guidance from the Magdalenes around our bodies and the temples of light. In ancient Egypt, especially the Atlantean Egypt, the Golden Egypt, those that were initiated really understood the sanctity of this temple. There was no shame, no judgment. There was no kind of, I wish I looked like this, or kind of subliminal, subconscious kind of doubts about this temple. Everyone honored the uniqueness of their temple, whatever it looked like, however it moved and functioned. And it was, expanded to be the most efficient and optimum that the individual had, because you create your body, we create our body. Before we came here on this earth, we created our body specifically for what we needed. That's inclusive of everything that's ever happened to it and everything that ever will. Of course, there are environmental things, right? We want to take care of it, and we're remembering day in, day out more and more how to do that in alignment with our frequency, where we want our frequency to go. But connecting with the body and not seeing it as a sexualized object, not seeing it as this trophy, as this thing to flaunt, but seeing it as the vehicle, the means to be here, having this human experience. The emotions that you feel, especially the ecstatic ones, the really high ones, because that's really tangible. Those emotions, without a physical body, we wouldn't feel them. We wouldn't have anything to kind of qualify them with, right? Our bodies tell us how powerful that is. It's time to be intimate with ourselves. And intimacy is not just on a physical layer, although society still believes that perhaps. Intimacy is emotional, knowing yourself through and through, recognizing your mental intimacy with yourself, with another. How well do you know yourself? And not just the good parts, but the shadows, the blind spots. How do you respond when you see a blind spot for the first time in your whole life? I had a moment the other day where I saw a part of my body that I've never kind of noticed before. It was just kind of the way that my body was kind of holding itself. And it was more around the back of me. It was kind of here. And I was like, oh, wow, I actually have a tattoo on my rib cage, and I forgot about it. And I saw it. I saw this part of my body that I hadn't seen for a while. And, obviously I see my body and I see myself in the mirror, but when you just kind of catch yourself unaware and you're like, oh, I don't remember it looking like that. Wow, my body's shifted and it's changed. It needs to hold itself different. And it can be in this world so normal to judge a shift or a change in the body, but really the body is responding to whatever energy is moving through you, right? So it's actually really important that we just trust the body and what it's doing. If it's shifting in size, in weight, if it's shifting in texture, if skin is doing something, if our throat is doing something, everything is balancing itself out, because we are the microcosmos. We are the whole world within ourselves. We are all the elements, and everything will always remain in balance, because that's the law of this Earth star, and we're made up of her, right? But this Mary Magdalene Day, this Mary Magdalene week, it says, we say Mary Magdalene, but really it's sacred feminine energy. Allow yourself to be intimate with yourself. Allow yourself to learn something about yourself you didn't know. The mind will have a way of coming up with a story before we even allow the body to tell us. Have you ever been in a conversation where you just have that one friend who just keeps talking? You can't get a word in edgeways. And you're just like, oh, great story, good chat. And actually you didn't say anything. You know, you didn't say anything in this conversation. That's like what the mind does in today's world. And that's okay. That's just where the mind is until we train the mind, until we befriend the mind, until we realize that there is probably a wounded inner child in that mind, just seeking the love and approval, right? But really, let's reroute that. Let's reroute that back to the body. Let's listen to our body. Let's hear her, him, her, them, whatever. Hear your body. Hear your emotions. Hear what's being said of you, and hear if there is something striving to be in balance within you, and your body is showing it because we've not heard past the loudness of our mind. Family. What is family to you? We all want this conscious family, this community, yet we forget that it starts and ends within ourselves. We're going to get guided to remember that this week. We're very encouraged to remember that this week. In any of the golden eras, that sense of family was so strong. Sorry, my phone's getting low on battery. In any of the golden eras, we knew that. We understood what family was. And family was an extension of ourselves. But to create that family, we have to have that extension of ourselves within ourselves first. We have to know ourselves. We have to know ourselves more than we have done before. We have to welcome ourselves home as family, right? I'm just watching the dogs, making sure they're okay. To create that family, we have to be at peace with ourselves, because otherwise our mind will project onto those other beings our own blind spots for us to see. This person says this, or this person has done this. Have they? Probably not. That's just our perception. We've created that with our mind. Right? It's a very powerful time. Manifestation is still really potent, as it always is. We are always manifesting. Always. We never stop. We never stop manifesting. Right? And the difference is whether we want to consciously manifest or passively, right? That's mind control. Mind control is the card here that we're being drawn to, because this time right now, although we're in a week where many people, especially in the spiritual world, especially down in Avalon, if you're passing by there, there'll be lots of celebrations for the 22nd and around. Meditation, celebration, feasting, just beauty personified. But it has to pair with mind control, with discipline of the mind, of getting to know ourselves, of getting to know those shadows, those hidden pockets. Right? Watch your thoughts. An undisciplined mind can be influenced by others and create chaos. Do you have chaos in your life right now? It's an undisciplined mind. The mind is not going to like us saying that, though. Right. Let's have a look at, oh, look at that. The Sphinx is the card on the top here. I found that so fascinating. This is a Stargate. When we did our 7-7 workshop, Tim and I, we entered through the Sphinx, through the vision journey. And that's where the Akashas, the Akashic records, there are so many sacred records there as well, higher levels, higher realms. We are actually very much this week priming ourselves to receive and to open deeper wisdom, deeper gifts that we used to have, that we've remembered, that we have even perhaps got a glimpse of them in this lifetime. The clairs, clairvoyance, cognizance, sentience, telepathy, telekinesis, those abilities that we might have glimpsed at, that we might have got, that we might feel like we already are to a certain level, very clairvoyant. Those are going to develop this week so much, especially in the run-up to Lion's Gateway. The Magdalenes are reminding us that it is a time of prophecy right now as well, and abundance. but prophecy, because prophecy is kind of like a timeline shifting. It's the stretching, allowing your mind a divine stretch of the mind, a divine stretch, not creating a situation through anxiety or worry and creating something lower frequency before it needs to be here. But when we are permitted, when we are resting, when we are in balance with our yin and our yang, rest and action, we are granted the possibility to see and to know what we need to do as a direct divine inspiration, direct divine offering through our daydreams, through our nightly dreams. We're being shown and guided. I'm just going to draw some archangel cards just to close up this reading, just to close up this video. There's so much more I wanted to say, but right now does not seem to be the time. The dogs are a bit distracted and I have to just make sure they're okay. And I can hear one of them kind of, or I can feel one of them going a bit too far out. The phone battery's not really going to last, so we're going to see which angels we have coming out here. And then I'll do another video midweek, perhaps. But which archangels are guiding us right now through this week to remember who we are? Because it is a time of initiation. Initiation, abundance, manifestation is carrying and increasing. The more we manage our mind, allow it to calm and not run us, the less we're manipulated and the more we are able to actually create higher timelines. On the bottom, we have Lady Gaia. Of course we do. Of course we have Lady Gaia reminding us that we are welcome visitors here. And there are some times that we don't feel like we are welcome visitors here on this earth. There are some times that we don't desire to be here on this earth. But once again, the earth is a reflection of our mind, our point of perception, our emotions, and what we're creating. The body has a direct connection with how we view the world. So if we feel like it's difficult here, we have to change something within ourselves. Because this is the world. For all intents and purposes, this is how we're here. This is our vehicle. This is our earth. For you to be here, you have to have your own earth, and that's your body. Archangel Muriel, this divine wisdom coming in, this intuitive, highly feminine way of knowing, the wisdom that we have cannot be created by the mind or stored in there. It is direct divine knowledge, knowing. And the ability, and look at this, the downloads that you are going to be receiving this week, especially from the Magdalenes, should you be open, ready, willing to receive from them. The light which you are, the remembrance which you are, which you've experienced a million times before. That rose energy. I have white roses right behind me. We have some blue rose healing on my website right now. We have pink roses here, that unconditional love. What color rose is showing itself to you right now? What color rose do you need to place in your heart, in your home, in your hair? Because there is a big emphasis on being welcome here, feeling grounded, of knowing your soul direction. Of course, I can help with that in a one-to-one, should you wish, but this week you're going to find that information is going to come to you. If you're ready, if you're open, if you're receiving. If we're in too much action, too much go, 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 and too much mind, we're not in a place to receive. So allow yourself to shift and to change and to move into a receptive chalice and container to hear, to receive sacred offering from the divine this week. The music, the wind, the flutes that Sandalphon is playing here, ancestry, your ancestral line, those who walked this earth before you, they're around you, they're with you, offering their love, their guidance. Your prayers are being carried to source energy, and those answers are coming back, and they come along the breeze. So while the sun is so strong this week, perhaps where you are too, but while the sun is as strong as it is, and the air is as filled with light, allow yourself to hear, to feel, to notice, to rejoice in the golden energy, that abundant air all around. Because when we recognize that, when we recognize how full and generous the air is, the sun is around us, we start to see that everywhere, and we start to create that everywhere around us, within us. And there is a massive healing that Archangel Lavender wants to help you with this week. Perhaps within your family, perhaps very, very, very deeply rooted old hurts that you felt like you've either healed or you've walked away from. They may come back because you actually have to forgive. And it's not forgiving them, it's forgiving yourself for allowing that perception to occur. When we just walk away from something without actually completing the healing process, we've not actually healed anything. We're just prolonging an inevitable return. And you're worth more than that, right? We're all worth more than that. Because in any energy, in any being, any experience that we have, where forgiveness is required or suggested, and it hasn't yet occurred, we're just holding ourselves back. What's that saying? To err is human, but to forgive divine. I know everyone watching this channel is seeking more of that divinity within. We've got to see that each one of us, part of this family on earth, we're all part of one another. We've got to really start to see that and get that. And when we release others from the bindings we place upon them, by wanting to hold them accountable for an action, for a word spoken, we forget that we're actually condemning ourselves when we do that. So release yourself. Welcome in more of the divine here. Guardian angels help him. Let's get one more message from the one from the Magdalenes and one from the Atlantean deck. Work with crystals this week. Work with crystals. Actually ask your crystal, if you have a clear quartz crystal, actually ask it to tune in, like meditate with it, create the space, and actually ask it. I have bees surrounding me. Very sacred feminine week. Ask the crystal to tune into the great crystal of Atlantis. Ask that crystal to tune into that harmonic, that frequency. Place it on your frontal lobe, your third eye. And ask it to show you, to imbue within you what is next to unfold within you, so that you can see clearer than you've ever seen before. Be purer than you've ever been before. Think with such clarity that it could only be from the divine. This is an ascension process for everyone, not just individual, but collective. That's our family again, that conscious, that collective family. We are all one family on this earth because we all come from the same mother. Our physical bodies come from this earth, and we go back to the earth at the end of this incarnation. But our ascended soul, our process, our energy, that doesn't stop when the body goes back into the earth. But in the recognition that our bodies, our temples, our vehicles to be here are from that space, we recognize that we all share one mother. So we are all family. And we know that whenever we want to heal something, whatever we heal within ourselves, we heal up our ancestral line. Whatever we do within shows up without. So when we allow something within ourselves to heal, we heal for the whole planet. Right? Healed people heal people through frequency alone. And the doggies have just come back to say it's time. And the bees are getting very feisty. So I'm going to send you all so much love. We are family. I love you all. Have a wonderful week. I'm curious to know what you're doing this week. Share with me if you like. I'd love to hear. How are you celebrating the Magdalene energy? Are you doing anything with it, for it? Yeah, I'll see if I may record a meditation for it and post it online. We'll see. We'll see what inspiration takes me. That sounds like a fun idea. If you'd like that, let me know in the comments. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I look forward to all the light language attunements I have this week, and the readings, the one-to-ones, and the healings. Thank you if you've booked one of those. And if you haven't and you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, feel welcome to have a look at aliceheath.com and look at my current offerings. And after Lionsgate, I will have live hour plus hour 90-minute sessions as well. But right now I've got some really powerful one-to-ones and courses on offer on my website. So see you all soon. Enjoy the week, and well done for showing up in love in your heart and